Good morning. I shouldn't say good morning. It's like fucking 5 o'clock. Anyways, yeah, so I thought I would tell you guys a story time today. I've already tried filming this like 3 times and I keep fucking up my story because like, I don't know, I've never really like told the story in its entirety. So I thought I would do that. I'm gonna start the story off by saying, don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. It fucks up your brain, fucks up your body. Don't do that shit. People from my high school probably know this story. So I'm gonna just tell it anyways because everyone already knew what really happened. Or I don't know if they really know what happened. Anyways, so there's people that will probably watch this that are like maybe in this story. So I'm gonna just give them like alias names. I'm also filming this in my truck. I was gonna film this at my house, but obviously my house is under renovations and there's a lot of banging and there's workers all around my house, so I didn't want to fucking film a video like that, you know? I'm in a parking lot where there's like a soccer field right there and there's people playing soccer. I was gonna film this outside because it's a really nice day out, but there's people playing soccer, so it's kind of weird. Yeah, so let me start off this story by saying when I was in high school, I wasn't the greatest kid. Terrible child. I never really went to class. I was going through a lot of mental and like fucking family shit, you know? Like that doesn't excuse my actions, but I'm just saying like that's the mindset I was in back then. I would smoke a lot of weed. I would smoke almost every day at lunch, every day after school, blah, 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 all that shit. So me and my friend, let's call him Eric. Me and my friend Eric would always like ball up on lunch. So I had 3B lunch. So third period would be split into 2. You'd have a class for like whatever, half an hour or some shit, and then you'd go off for lunch. I would always go to class sober and then go to lunch and then come back to class high as shit. Like I remember times where I'm sitting there in class like she's teaching and I just remember my thighs like tickling. Like it felt like someone was tickling my legs. Like there was probably meth in that weed, but like whatever. Been there, done that. On this particular day, I didn't have any breakfast. I didn't have any lunch. I didn't have anything. I think I was running off for like 3 hours of sleep. So my body was already run down. I texted my friend and I was like, I was having a really like shitty week, I think. So I was like texting my friend. I was like, oh, let's go ball up on lunch. Like, do you have your bong? And he's like, yeah, let's go. Meet up in the fucking cafeteria. Go off to the fucking forest beside our school. And we also brought my friend, let's call her Jessica. So we hit a couple bowls, the 3 of us, and then as soon as I started walking back to the school, I got real fucking wavy and I was tripping out. Like I feel like I barely could walk, you know what I mean? Yeah, we walked back to the school. I'm like tripping fucking balls. Me and this girl Jessica, I'm gonna like forget that I called her that. We went to the washroom. And I'm like tripping out in the fucking stall on the toilet. And then, I don't know, I guess I get out and I say something like I need to go home. Or like I need to leave. Like I can't go to class like this because I'm like tripping. Like I'm falling in and out of sleep. Like I feel nauseous. Like I feel like I'm going to throw up. So she brings me to the office. And she basically explains to the secretary that I'm not feeling well, blah, blah, blah. And then the girl's like, okay, I'll call her parents. So then Jessica comes walking towards me and my fucking dumbass goes like, we need to call the cops. I need to go to the hospital. Like, this is not right. Like, yes. And my dad ends up coming. We drive home and then obviously you could tell like I was like he thought I was just sick. And then I just threw up all over his fucking car. And he's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, did you have breakfast? And I basically like, I was tripping out. I was freaking out. I was like, bring me to the hospital. And he's like, what the fuck is happening? And I was like, I smoked too much weed. And my dad's like, you can't OD on weed. Like, what are you talking about? And then he's like, why would you smoke at fucking school? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, bring me to the hospital. He ends up bringing me home, yelling at me. I end up throwing up more. He makes me fucking fill a bucket with water and clean his fucking car. Mind you, my dumbass is fucking like sleeping on and off. Like I'm fucking like wavy as shit. I'm like throwing up and then like he gives me this bucket of water and he's like, go clean up my truck. Like you threw up all over my truck. So then I'm like literally falling asleep on the ground in this bucket like this. I get out to the fucking truck. I don't even wash it. I just pour the bucket all over where I take the mats out that have puke on them and then I just like pour the water into and on the side of the vehicle and then I just call it a day. Yeah, so I go back inside. Obviously my dad's yelling at me. He's like, oh, and then he starts thinking like, oh, maybe she's drugged, right? Let me find out who drugged her. So he ends up taking my phone. Mind you, I'm like in and out of sleep at this point. So I don't even care that he has my phone. So he found out who gave me the weed, because obviously, like, I texted him before going to smoke, being like, oh, did you bring me a bong? So he ends up calling Kevin with my mom.
I'm editing this days later, and I realized that I said Kevin instead of Eric. Basically, Kevin and Eric are the same fucking person. I just use an alias name, you know. I balled up with one guy and a girl. Okay? Okay.
And they basically just, like, yell at him, and then they hang up, whatever. And then nothing really happens the rest of the night, so we all went to bed. Wake up the next morning, we get a call from the school saying I'm suspended for drug use on property. And they're like, but she has all her stuff here, like her wallet, her keys, like her books, like her backpack, like everything is still here. It was in the classroom. Her friend took it into his locker, so you have to come and get it before, I think it was like a March break or something. And it's like, oh, she's gonna be suspended past a March break, so like the school's gonna be closed. She has to come and get her stuff. So me and my dad are like, okay, sure, whatever, we'll come and get it. We get there. I think like the secretary or like a vice principal of some sort had to like escort me to my friend's locker. I had to unlock my friend's locker, get all my stuff, and then go back to the office. All they really did was like tell me their rules for suspension, like don't come on property, like all that shit, like only come back when your suspension is done, like just stupid ass rules that they just told me just because I was there. And we leave. That's literally all we said. Like we didn't even conversate with her that much. Like she just told me don't come back to the property. I get home, I go through my week of suspension, and then it's March break, and then after March break I'm back at school. I get back to school and everyone is suspended. And I'm like, huh? Like, why is everyone suspended? And then I guess in everybody else's minds, because I was the first one, because I'm the one that greened out, I'm the one that got suspended, that I ratted on everybody. But the fact is, I didn't have connections to anybody. We didn't even talk to the principal. Like, I got suspended, and they didn't even, like, suspend me while I was in school. Like, I was at home, and then I got a call the next day, right? I didn't say any names in the office because she didn't ask. She didn't do anything. Yeah, and I have no idea how they found out about all these other people that had bongs and like pipes and shit in their locker. Like, I have no fucking clue. Like, it's not even that I had connection to anybody, because when I got home from picking up everything from school, my phone was taken away, my laptop was taken away, I didn't have access to the computer, I was only allowed to watch basic cable, I wasn't allowed to go out with my friends. Like, I literally just stayed inside and like played with my dog for 2 weeks. I get back and everyone's like, oh, you fucking ratted on, what did I call them? You ratted on like Eric and like Kevin and like all these people. And I was just like, no, I fucking didn't. Like, I don't know where this came from. Like, I got suspended too. Who ratted on me? Like, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I'm still trying to figure out who the fuck ratted on me. Still don't know to this day. Moral of the story is, kids, don't do drugs. That's it. Don't do drugs. I hope you enjoyed this quick little story time that I wanted to say. I got a lot of more stories to fucking tell, so I'm probably gonna do that because, I don't know, my life is entertaining sometimes. Thanks for watching, guys. I will probably see you later. I'm gonna go drive around aimlessly. Okay.